Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a interesting video for you. We are basically going to be doing a little cooking. And I don't mean like we're cooking a meal on the stove. We'll get into it. Alright, so in past videos, you've seen me talk about, food preparedness, whether it be things like this, the 72-hour survival kit, or things like MREs. For those that don't know, an MRE is a meals ready to eat. One meal will last you all day and supplies you with all the calories you're going to need, since you're going to be burning the calories off, as it is for like hiking or camping or whatever. The 72-hour survival is a little different, but it's still, this is all freeze-dried food, so you have to add water. Right, so for prepping for the apocalypse, for an EMP attack, all-out invasion, Biden's re-election, whatever it is that drives you to prep, is going to drive you to buy certain things. So recently, I was in Reno, you all know, visiting my daughter and my wife's family, and I was talking with her cousin's husband, Jeff. So Jeff, if you're watching, shout out to you. As that falls, you're the one that helped provide the information and the subject matter for this. All right. So yeah, this fell. I mean, it doesn't really stand up all that well. I was doing my best, but we'll just leave it there. All right. I was talking with Jeff at a family dinner, and we were talking about things like this, right? Jeff is a like-minded individual, much like all of us, and talking about 4 Patriots, 72-hour survival kits for camping, preparing, and all that stuff. We were talking about MREs, and he had never tried the 4 Patriots. He had a different brand that he got and has used for camping, things like that, hunting trips, and it's called Peak Refuel, which is right here. So he gave me this one to bring back with me and try out. This one is beef stroganoff. So we're gonna go do a quick review. We're gonna cook it up. Now, how do we cook it up? Well, you need water. All right, so I got that covered. Water. How do we get that water warmed up? Well, the easiest way to do it, I mean, outside of building a fire and having a pot to boil water in, is basically use a jet boil. So I went into my bolt bag and grabbed my jet boil. And it's all held in this little sack right here. It is not, this bag is not purpose built. It is actually just a regular generic compression bag. I think I had a Whoopee come in this. Oh, yeah. I had a Whoopee from Black Rifle Coffee. And everything just seemed to fit right in here nicely. So what is inside that sack? Simple. I'll show you. All right. So open it up. Everything fits right in it. It's the fuel. That's important. And then underneath that is my jet boil. All right. So this is a plastic cover. Do not put this, or do not leave it on. Don't put this on the flame. All right. And inside are all the components. Okay, which is this. This is simply just get screwed right on. Take your time not to cross thread it. All right. Now you can have this just sitting flat on the ground, but for added stability, besides the burner, is a little stand that you're supposed to use on the bottom of this. Now, this, for some reason, I can never get it to fit properly on the Coleman tanks. All right. There's other tanks that I have where it fits a lot better, but for the Coleman one, just it doesn't fit right. So for today, we are just going to leave this one alone and just put it off to the side. All right. The jet boil literally just clicks right on top. All right. There are little notches to where this will drop in, and then you're able to turn it and lock it in. All right. And it keeps it there. Now, how do we get that lit? Well, it's pretty simple. There are different models, some that have an igniter. So all I have to do is hold it down, and it goes, like a grill, click, 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 and it ignites. But this one, which is the more inexpensive version, is reliant on good old matches. So if you don't carry matches with you, which you should, you can utilize a lighter, things like that. All right. We're not going to go over the whole jet boil, but this is one of those things that you really should have in your kit. You can buy them on Amazon. In fact, for this one, I'll put the link below. Everybody should have a jet boil. They're inexpensive, but they could save your life. At least you can cook food, because you're going to have to cook things like this. All right, at least get the water hot. All right. So let's get going. All right, so in order to cook this, your instructions are pretty much right here. They are pretty simple. All right. It's open the pouch, put in hot water, stir it, leave it for 10 minutes, open it, stir it some more, and you're ready to eat. So this is what we're using to heat that water up. All right. Now, it's going to help to have this off before you start. So we got to get this up and running. All right. Little valve right here. And I'm just going to crack it. Now, I don't want to have this running before I ignite it. And normally we'd be doing this outside, but... All right, so we're just going to be using matches. Now, it's important to have the match going before you turn this on. Otherwise, you're going to flood everything with gas, and it could be a big explosion. Plus, you don't want to be wasting your gas. This is going to be precious. All right, so we have our match going. All right, so we have the jet boil running. We're going to add our water to this. And if it's not bottled water, it's just regular filter water, or from like a Berkey system or whatever, this will help boil water if you don't have that type of system. All right. So now it's just going to take a few minutes to boil. All right. So you can see the steam. It is boiling. So I am going to reach underneath. I'm just shutting it off. Nice and steamy, nice and hot. All right. Now, we've got to open that up. When you open it up, there is a little packet. Make sure you take that out. All right. It's clearly marked "Do not eat." Don't eat the packet. Now, you've got to add 3/4 of a cup of water. How do we measure that? Well, if we're in the field, we're outside, camping, doing whatever, we're not going to measure it. We're just going to add water. But for today, it's simple. I went and stole this from the missus. All right, so the canister is going to be extremely hot, so that's why it's got this protective sheath around it. Right. So you got to hold this, otherwise it's going to unscrew. This part is not hot. Take it off. This we set aside because that's hot. All right. There we go. 3/4 of a cup. Three-quarters cup. I'm going to put this back on top of the burner for it to cool off. In case you haven't noticed, I am not a Gordon Ramsay.
I'm going to go fucking ballistic. Get a grip!
Now I know what you're wondering. How am I going to stir the food up? Well, it's simple. Got the food. All right. I've got my water. Now I need something to stir this. Everybody needs to have this in their kit. It's a spork. All right. But it's a tactical spork. Okay. It is brand name of K-Bar. And the nice thing is you can pull it apart and there's a knife in the handle. All right, so you still have that part, but there is a knife in the handle. We don't need the knife, so we're just going to use this. All right, so stirring stick. Here we go. Water going in the bag. Okay, done with that. And take this right here. Stir it up. Set this aside because I don't need it. And then we have to seal this bag back up. And then we let it sit right here. I mean, if you want to lean it against a rock or something, we can. But we're going to do it for 10 minutes, according to the instructions. All right? For you, the 10 minutes are going to fly by.
One eternity later.
All right, so it's been a little over 10 minutes or so. But we're going to try this now. All right? So the bag, nice and warm. Open her up. Get me my K-Bar. Mix it up. Alrighty. Now, it's going to look weird, but we'll try it. So I'm going to get me some, not that much. So there you go. Got some noodles, little chunks of meat, seasoning all over it. So we'll give it a try. Not too bad. I mean, a little salty. You can taste it, but most of these products are going to be salty. So it touts it as having the highest level of, nutrients, blah, blah, blah. So, listen, I mean, you want to try this product out? That's great. If I can find a link for it down below, or if I find a link, I'll put it down below. Overall, not bad. I've had worse. Omelets out of this are nasty. But, hey, if you're trying to survive, camping, whatever, not bad. I do like these just because you get, a variety in these packages. But this, I mean, you can pick up this little package, and I'm sure they make other. I mean, I know they make others. So you can mix match. But me, I just call me lazy. I don't know. I just buy the 72-hour kits. Usually those come free when you buy the bigger family kits. You do what you want. I'm not going to eat too much of this just because everybody else wants to try it. But it's pretty good. Again, a little salty for my taste, but whatever. Though, I think everybody needs to make sure that they have one of these in their little backpack. All right? So, it's been 10 minutes, so this is cooled off. All right? It's cool to the touch. So, I'm going to put my plastic sleeve back on to protect it. I'm going to put the little legs that go to the sterno back down inside. All right. Now, this, when I was unscrewing it, I was holding down here. This part is what gets hot, but we're going to, okay. It's nice and cool. So I'm going to unscrew it. Take your time. You don't want to cross thread it, dick your threads up. All right. This just gets dropped down inside. It does come with a little lid, so you can make your coffee in it or whatever, and you get your little lid to drink out of. One side is like for drinking, and then up here are just a bunch of holes, so if you're cooking something in here, you're able to just to drain the water out if need be. So just put that little rubber lid right back on top, kind of holds everything. Get your little sock. All right. Again, I mean, you can buy these wherever. Repurpose. I mean, I repurposed this. All right. So I get that in there. I'm going to put the fuel source in. Sits right on top. I'm going to cinch it back down. There you go. See, it's all in a little bag. And this is in my backpack. So if I need to boil water, do some cooking, obviously for freeze-dried meals, right here. This is a necessity. I don't think it's, like a want. I mean, this right here is a necessity. You're going to have to be able to boil water. And this is a lot easier than trying to build a fire. You can just do it right on the fly. Again, I mean, you have a bunch of these. That's great, but they get heavy. All right, I think you get a bigger bang for your buck with things like this, especially when it comes to just having to add water. Again, where are we getting that water? It could be from bottles that we have. It could be from the sink or whatever. If it's going to be water that you find naturally, as in like a stream or whatever, make sure you filter that water first through either a Berkey system, the Sawyer bag with the Sawyer filters, and then boil it off. All right, I would do that. I wouldn't just put the water directly in this and then try and boil it clean, just because you're going to have all those contaminants inside your jet boil. Even if you wipe it all out, you don't know what kind of critters are staying inside, and since I'm using this for food, I'm going to keep it as clean as possible. So I will put filtered water from one of my water filter systems, even if I'm using tablets. Then I'll boil it for the food. All right, I'm not going to put straight stream water in here, boiling it, and then adding that just because of contamination and things like that. I'm pretty sure that boiling it's going to kill I know boiling it's going to kill everything, but my concern is what's left behind. All right, so if I find the links for this, I'll put them below. I will definitely have the link for the jet boil below. If you haven't gotten one yet, it is an essential for your kit. You can buy the little fuel canisters right off Amazon, or like me, I just went to Walmart and picked up the Coleman ones. They're only a little over $6 a piece. So They're not expensive. It lasts a long time. It only takes a minute or so to get that water boiling, to get it hot enough to where you can make your food. So they're going to last a while. You can buy 5 or 6 of them, and you'll be good for a good bit of time because you're not using that much fuel. All right? Something good to kind of stockpile. But remember, having just one is none. You're going to need more than one. All right? Everybody that has a bolt bag in the house has one of these. All right? Everyone gets their own, and they're not expensive. I mean, this one was under $100. So, again, it's not the fancy one where it's got the igniter and all that. I just use matches. All right? Just plain matches. Got tons of them. That being said, other things you could use, if you do have a campfire, you could just use a little twig, right, that's on fire. Get it in there and get it going. But I'm a big proponent of having matches, the waterproof ones, lighters, whatever. All right. Sometimes it's a little easier to be a little more stealthy, not build a fire to cook food, and just use the jet boil, because you can do this anywhere. You can do this inside of a building, which obviously I did. You can do it on the fly outside. Doesn't matter. All right. Little makeshift shelter you made. Good to go versus trying to build a fire, which is really going to give your position away. So a jet boil is a good thing to have. But that's all I really have for you guys in this video. I know it's quick and it's all about food, but something I wanted to try and something I figured I'd share with you because it is important, since even the U.S. government lately has been saying that everybody really should be prepping, which kind of makes me nervous when the government tells you we should be prepping. What do they know that we don't know? What's coming around the corner? I don't know, but 2024 is going to be a wild ride. I mean, we're, just a little bit into the second month, and y'all have seen what's going on in the past month. In January, that was insane with everything that was going on. So it is what it is. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll talk to y'all later.